All right, so Jeff is back with our data from our soil report, soil analysis. Do you love all the comments, all the people? I think how many people watched that darn video? Like 30,000 or something?
Is it up to 30 now? Last time I looked, it was like 18, and it pretty rare for a YouTube video is 95% of the comments were positive.
Yeah.
There were a couple naysayers in there.
There's a lot of people that are really into this. Clearly, I'm not, and so that's what I got you for.
Exactly.
Help me figure this out. So what are we looking at?
So kind of as I suspected, when I came out to look, when we pulled the soil analysis, indeed it did come out being kind of acidic.
Okay.
Not to the degree that maybe I thought it would be, but enough that it's going to compromise what's going to happen out there as far as performance, color, and everything like that. Really glad that we did it in sections because I was able to find some different things out and was able to find some consistencies, which helps us when we go forward as far as applications and getting the yard into better shape. So kind of when I do this, I write a report for you. The goal of writing this report was to A, give you enough information that you know what you're looking at, and B, not keep you bored to death because you don't like it. And you have a background in chemistry, so some of these things you'll understand. And then underneath it, I'll make fertilizer recommendations that'll go to the guy that I'm gonna, help you hire that will do these applications for you. So this is just for your perusing when you're done. And
Gotcha.
And I kind of like to give you a little educational status on that because the more you know, the better my job is. So as long as you have like some kind of working knowledge, it just makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Kind of what we found, if we start by the front yard is, and this is kind of what a soil report looks like. There was a gentleman in the comments that said, you could just take this and they'll spit out recommendations. You can get rudimentary recommendations, but I actually do the math, and then there's the art of balancing everything that's in there. So if we were to look at the pH of this, I'm just show you how to read down one of these. This is the pH of your soil, which is 6.0. In a perfect scenario, we want to see the soil be about a 6.5 to 6.7.
Okay.
That's about when the most nutrients are available. So we're slightly on the acidic side. So as we come down, we look at phosphorus. Phosphorus is in line. And then when we get down here to calcium, you're 200 pounds per acre deficient.
Okay.
And this is what starts to drive pH. So if we think of parts hydrogen being what drives pH, these are the things that are going to comprise that. You're good on magnesium and you're low on potassium. So that's going to affect pH as well. And your sodium's right in line. Now, kind of for the viewer at home, so you learn some things, and then this way you learn too. All these exchanges in soil happen on what's called a soil colloid.
Okay.
And basically what this is if imagine we had a dinner table with 10 seats on it. We want 6 of those seats to be taken up by calcium, 1 to 2 of them taken up by magnesium, 2.5 taken up by potassium, and I'm just spitting out round numbers here, and less than 3 taken up by sodium. I know that doesn't add up to a total 100, but trust me, it does.
Got it.
The less space that is occupied by those nutrients, you're gonna have more hydrogen at that table, and that's what makes you acidic. So when you get deficient in these, we get hydrogen on the soil colloid, and then we become acidic. So the way we get the soil to balance then is to add these nutrients back.
So we simplify it down to these 5 characteristics, or I guess 6. Sulfur, phosphorus, so there's 2.
Yep.
And then you have these 4, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. So we have 6 different categories that we have to adjust for. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, those are the main things I'm gonna look at. I'm also gonna look at the balance here of the percentages, how they arrive to be on that soil colloid.
Okay.
So basically what we saw is that we sampled by tree area, front yard, backyard, and the island.
Okay.
What's really, really neat is these 3, the island, the backyard, and the front yard, show consistent deficiencies.
Where do you see which one's which?
So I go right here, so I just use initials. So backyard,
okay, got it.
Island, front yard, and tree area.
Okay.
These 3 are all consistent. There is a little bit of variance in that the backyard is a little more acidic than the front yard, but on average, they show the same profile. So they're all deficient in calcium, and they're all deficient in potassium. So moving forward, as we make those applications, we'll account for that in the materials that we put down. The one anomaly, and it's kind of funny when I watched the video back and we talked about this, is kind of the tree area over by the wash bay. You said, man, sometimes this area really looks good, and then sometimes it just doesn't. Well, we can explain that because this is the one that happens to be a little different in that it's deficient in magnesium and potassium, and it's fine in calcium. Now, what you see happening is, because calcium's the big dog at the table, the pH of the soil sample is good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so you're right on line. But with the magnesium being low, we'll take everybody back to chemistry class here. If you look at a molecule of chlorophyll, you have magnesium that's surrounded by iron. So that's why everybody's lawn greens up when you put iron down, because you're helping to make chlorophyll. But if we don't have that magnesium in the center, we're not going to make chlorophyll. So what would happen is, it's not uncommon for a lawn care company to have magnesium in their mixes sometimes. Comes out that day, hits your yard, it's got some magnesium, it gets what it's deficient in, boom, we've got color, everything looks good.
Greens up.
Mix is different next time, then it doesn't. So that's the anomaly we found. So we'll treat this area a little different.
So instead of just superficially hitting the top roots, we need to get magnesium in the soil.
Correct.
Is that a difference versus, so when the company comes out and just kind of sprays a little magnesium on, the yard takes off, but then it dies off again? Is that because they haven't really treated the soil? They haven't added enough?
Right. So if you're looking on a pounds per acre, that's 160 pounds per acre deficient.
So can you just go throw 160 pounds on there, or do you have we have to build up to that?
Yeah, you have to build up over time, just because of the forms that are available of the magnesium. Some of them tend to be a little bit hot, or what we would dehydrate the turf. So these things build up over time. So that's your big anomaly on that one. And you can see it, you know, in the base saturations. Calcium's actually a little too high on this one. And you'll see this, it's almost like a symphony. Once we start adding things, everything just kind of balances out. And then the real cool thing is, everything works better together. So if you look at a soil, you've got like a triangle. You've got physical, chemical, biological. Well, we're affecting the chemical, which will affect the physical, which will affect the biological. So once we balance the soil, everything starts to work.
Biological comes from compost, just from, you know, cutting the grass and letting it
decompose, feeding the microbes, you know, adding carbon to the soil. So for every unit of synthetic nitrogen that you convert over to be available through the plant, it's going to go through a process called nitrification. You're going to use 20 units roughly of carbon. The microbes are going to use about 20 units of carbon to convert that 1 unit of synthetic nitrogen to make it available for the plant to use. So yeah, when you're adding grass clippings, you're adding carbon, and we'll look at using carbon-based fertilizers so that we can help that process.
So are we going to treat these areas differently? How are you going to treat the three that are similar, the same?
Yeah, given that they're so close, we're going to treat them the same, but we're going to continue to sample. All right, one may have to stop earlier than the other. My hunch is that the backyard, where did that one go? We'll need the applications a little bit longer. So because if you look here, your calcium, you're minus 486 pounds per acre, where in the front yard, you're minus 207. So the applications will probably have to go twice as long here. But by and large, treat those three areas the same. We'll treat the tree area as an anomaly, and we're off to the races.
So talk to me about what treatment. So how do we balance how you're putting this stuff in? Because we can't just go and dump 500 pounds of calcium on the surface.
Yeah.
So what are we going to use? So what is this? So what are the applier application specialists? What are they going to put on the yard? How are they going to do this?
Okay, so these are going to be all granular products as opposed to coming out with liquids.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in agricultural circles, most people hear, oh, your soil's acidic, well, add dolomite lime. You'll hear that say, oh, add dolomite, add lime, add dolomite. Well, there's multiple kinds of dolomite. And if I have a soil that's doing well in magnesium, I don't want to put dolomite, because dolomite is a combination of calcium and magnesium. So what we're going to do, we have a scenario here where the magnesium's good. So we're going to go with what's called a high cal lime. So it's a high calcitic limestone. Doesn't have magnesium in it, so we're not going to add to the magnesium, because if you have too much mag, you can actually tighten the soil up. It's how they make brick. So these areas are going to basically be treated with high cal lime at 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet, and we figure about 2 applications on the front yard should pull that right in line. And then for our potassium source, we're going to use 0050 sulfate of potassium at 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet, and that about 2 applications, and that should get us in line.
So how is that applied? So you have a spreader, like a wheel-driven spreader, and you adjust the hole on how it. So there's an adjustment that will do this. So 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So how do we know what 1,000 square feet is? They have to measure it out, or?
Yeah. So you know, all these applicators are very smart about calibrating their equipment. So most golf courses, most lawn care companies, and they want to do this because they're going to lose profitability if they don't do it. They'll measure out a 1,000 square foot area, and you know they'll figure out, okay, if I need 2 pounds of this product per 1,000 square feet, you know, one way of calibrating it is to physically do it. The fertilizer manufacturers this day and age are pretty damn good in that most of the bags will actually come with recommendations on it for your type of spreader, so they kind of know what spreader setting to go to.
Okay.
So, you know, those are the 2 ways to go about it, but you know, it's always best to calibrate your equipment no matter what the bag says to make sure that, you know, you're getting the right amount of material out there. So that's how we're going to treat the main areas. And then if we come over here to the tree area, we're going to treat this one a little different. We're going to use a material here that's called sulfate of potash magnesium, or sulpamag as we call it in the industry. So that's a combination of potassium and magnesium, which are the 2 things that are missing. Now, if we look at the analysis of that, it's a 0022. It's 22% potassium, but it's only 11% magnesium.
Okay.
So that alone isn't going to get us exactly what we need, but it's going to help. So then we'll come with a product called ProMag 36, which is 36% magnesium, and that will add the extra mag that we need because it requires more magnesium than it does potassium, and that'll be the one that we treat differently.
Okay, that was the, what are we calling that one?
Tree area, or a TA.
Yeah, TA, so deficient there, got it, high there. So when these 2 deficiencies come up, this will drop. Calcium will likely drop.
Yeah. So what'll be really cool is, because we're using a sulfur portion, the sulfur will actually help drive some of that calcium away, which will further help to balance it. And this is kind of where the art of balancing soils coming in, is knowing that, you know, it's pretty common to say, oh, I have a really alkaline soil, add sulfur. Well, what is that sulfur actually doing? Yes, sulfur is acidic, but the sulfur itself is removing either calcium or magnesium or potassium.
Got it.
So we're using that ion, that sulfate portion of that ion, to help get that calcium to go down, free and available to the plant, while adding the magnesium and the potassium.
So how exact does this application need to be? They're just hitting close? Is that
Close, yeah. Close. I mean, you'll never get it to a perfect 100% T with a granular spreader. You'll get damn close, and we can work around damn close.
So let's take a walk out there. I want to ask a couple of questions. Let's take this with us in case we have to refer back.
All right.
Stuff like this.
Right.
This thinness.
Yes.
Is this this is a byproduct of having incorrect levels?
Having correct levels is going to help this. It looks like it's a heavy traffic area.
Not really.
Okay. So as long as you guys don't walk through it, but a lot of this has to do with shade and root intrusion. It will improve by getting things better.
Got it.
Where we turn out to be.
And like when we've seen it here, like now obviously we're in the more dormant time of the season, right?
Correct,
So we're getting less rain, less water, but I feel like this is really kind of taking a crap here the last.
One thing that I do have a sneaking suspicion of with this, and I have an app we can measure this, is the sun angle starting to affect it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about shade being an issue. So if you want to hold on to this, I've got a pretty cool app I can pull up and we can look at this. All right, so this is an app called Sunseeker Pro that I use, and what it does, it's almost like you're internally looking through from the inside of the globe. So we can see where the sun's going to be different times of the year. Okay, and this is a suspicion, but by using this, I'll be able to tell you. Okay, so if we look at 8 a.m. on June 21st, the sun's right there. It's coming over the house, so there's more light available. As we come over here to December, see how we're totally tree blocked?
Yeah.
and then we go all the way over. Let's see if we can make this happen. You're basically, the sun's right there right now.
Yeah.
Coming down. We've got almost no light here during the day this time of year. So that's going to lend itself to causing some of that. So these are some of the things we look at. And you have a really nice tree canopy here. I don't think you want to clear cut everything.
So then, like, they just took out a tree.
Yes.
So do we, like, around the oaks, do we define an edge here? And like this tree was taken out, do we have to plug this? I mean, how do we get this to take? Should we be taking these leaves out of here?
You can. I mean, it'll help. They'll
I mean, it's infinite. They never stop.
They never stop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the one thing you could do is the gentleman that mows your yard was just here, is you could have him bag it. So that helps pull some of it up, or, you know, and then you don't have as much, because you do want it to break down over time. But too much leaves is not great.
Yeah.
This area, as long as you did have it stump ground.
Yes.
Okay, you can sod over that, or, you know, we could plug it, or whatever you want to do.
Sure.
With the trees, you can clearly define an edge if you'd like for a more cosmetic thing. And just kind of figure out aesthetically how you want it to look. Do you want it to be a little more natural?
Because grass is never going to grow there, right?
No, it's going to be difficult for it to. So,
this is easily the worst it's ever been.
Okay. So,
Cutting it too short, probably, and too many leaves. Plus, we had all the trees being ground up, which kind of, we had the guys were taking some of the trees out over here.
Yep.
We've had the irrigation specialist come out and do make sure all the heads are good. So we should be getting adequate water.
Yeah.
I forget what the timing is, but how much watering should I be doing? Once a week, twice a week?
This time of year, depending on rainfall, probably twice a week deep. So I'd rather not see it go for a shorter amount of time, because you're on reclaimed water here, correct?
No, well.
Well, okay, so that does help. I do like to see watering practices to where you're going deeper and less frequent. So we keep water moving down, we keep roots driving down. If you live in an area where you have reclaimed water, the reason you want to do that is shallow and frequent waterings start to deposit sodium near the soil surface and will actually seal it off. So especially if you've got reclaimed water and you're in a time of the year where you're not getting a lot of rain, water deep as you can, 30, 45 minutes a zone, it depends, just throwing out an arbitrary number, as opposed to, 10 minutes a zone. You want it to go deep to use gravity to drive that sodium down. This time of year for us, twice a week should be okay, especially with well water. We will be getting rain with cold fronts, so we don't want to overwater. I do like the idea of raising the height of cut on this, because the plant's going to want to do that naturally. The process is called exfoliation, and what it does is, because it's not getting as much sunlight, it lengthens the leaf, so it has more surface area to do its work.
Got it.
So raising the height of cut will help the plant do what it wants to do naturally.
So you said you have a guy that can do this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So what does that cost me? How do we do that? How does this work?
So what I'm going to do is bring him over and introduce you, have him walk around the property with you. He runs a really, really good lawn care company. They're a customer of mine in my normal job, and he's open to the concept of working and doing what we want to do. So I kind of told him what we were looking at, and he said, perfect, happy to help.
Because you have to have a license to be able to apply in a commercial environment. Like I could go buy these at a place, right? All these chemicals are available to purchase.
Yes, if you wanted to do it yourself, you could.
Yeah, which I don't.
Right, so we have the guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where is that guy's up here?
Yeah, so he's in Orlando, but they actually have a branch in Bellevue. So,
got it, okay.
And really, really cool guy. You'll like him. If I do a video with the two of you, I will look really, really short, because he's as tall as you are. But, he understands kind of what we're going after. And so he'll meet with you. I'll kind of hand him off to you. He'll discuss the price. And then what's really cool is we talked about, he has some products from the golf course setting that we're going to try and transition over into lawn care. So they're top-notch fertilizers used by top golf courses. So he's going to apply liquid fertilizer as part of the maintenance plan. Okay. And so we're going to apply those here to see how they respond. So we know they're going to do well.
So help me with that. So what is the liquid stuff? If we know that this is what we need, what does that do? Is that for like bug treatment and
So the liquid stuff is actually, it's going to help the plant absorb some nutrients. Okay, so you still have to get nitrogen, potassium, all of those things into the plant. So most of your lawn care companies are just spraying. And you do get some response from that, and it's like a short term in between granular applications.
Yeah.
So if you think of the workout world, you got, there's the school of thought of, I'm going to eat every 3 hours, eat my big meals and then snacks or protein shakes in between. You think of liquids as like the snacks in between. Your granular apps are your actual meals. It's the, the eggs and bacon, the steak and potatoes. Doing the liquids is the protein shake in between. It helps sustain it.
Okay. So in comparison, like a big, like a Massey or a True Green, or they normally charge, like for a yard like this is like, like $100 a month or something like that. So to do granular treatments, I'm gonna have to buy quite a bit more material. Are we looking at 2, 3, 4, 5x? What are just roughly? What are these guys cost more generally?
Not necessarily, because the cost of these materials isn't really that expensive.
Got it.
So, if we're talking a bag of limestone, a 50-pound bag can, probably run $5 to $10.
Got it. Okay.
So it's not like
the material cost of these companies is not all that high.
Right.
It's the expertise that I'm paying for and the labor to
and
go
the
and
license.
walk the property.
And the license and the cost of having the truck come out here and the fuel and paying the guy's insurance. All those get wrapped into that.
Sure.
But it's not like we're using a specialty fertilizer that's $60 a bag, and then obviously he has to adjust his price to keep his profitability there.
Right.
When you're using commodity items, these are very, very inexpensive. So you may pay a little bit more because he's doing a granular process,
right? Yeah.
Versus a liquid.
Well, cool. Well, we'll do a follow-up video with him when he comes out here and continue to share the process. It's going to be cool to show the start where we started. It's gotten even worse than where we started.
Right.
When we first tested, because it stopped raining.
Yeah.
And gotten cold, or cold for us anyway. And we touched 40 degrees a couple of times.
Yeah.
And 50 degrees. And so we're going to see this transformation. So we'll call this episode 2. Where now we have the data. Episode 3 will be the meeting with and discussing the application and the cost of that. And then I guess episode 4 would be 4 and 5 and 6 would be to show the progress and how often do we need to do these tests?
So we're going to do
once a quarter.
Yeah, we're going to do those once a quarter. So we did those in October. So we're probably looking January, February.
Right, because we need to get up and moving. Right,
yeah.
We need to get up and moving with our protocol, and then we'll be sure to track the progress.
Yes.
And of something I have negative interest in. It took me a week to even respond to him because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. Even though he's doing it all, I don't have to do anything. It's like, I freaking hate the yard so much.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, I want it to look good though.
So that's it. You got to deal with me to do the video, but we're going to get the yard looking good, and then it'll be off your hair, and then it's my problem to worry about. And then you go, here you go, Jeff. Here's your check. Get out of here.
Yeah.
My yard's fine, and I'm fiddle farting with cars all afternoon where I'm in my happy place.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll do episode 3 will be an update on doing the granular application.